If one day you stood at the very edge of the earth, a place where every direction points south, and the temperature can freeze your tears mid-air, is that the Arctic or the Antarctic? The two poles, they sound similar, both vast, cold, silent regions of white ice, yet there are monumental differences between them, so profound they might as well be two separate planets on the same world. One is a drifting ice ocean, where polar bears roam in search of prey. The other is an immense continent buried under miles of ice, where resilient penguins endure the planet's harshest cold. And here, as a crucial fact, only one of these places is so cold that even bacteria have to hibernate. Today we delve into this bipolar mystery, the Arctic and the Antarctic. Which one is the Earth's true freezing hell? First, let's frame it. The Earth is like a tilted sphere, with the two poles, north and south, as its ends. The Arctic's Greek root arctikos means belonging to the bear because it lies directly under the Ursa Minor constellation. The Antarctic, Antarcticos, means opposite the bear simply because there are no bears there. Though both are zones of perpetual ice, their nature is fundamentally reversed. The Arctic is actually a frozen ocean surrounded by land. It's covered by a layer of sea ice about 6–10 feet thick, constantly drifting and melting seasonally. The Antarctic, conversely, is a massive continent spanning over 5.4 million square miles. It's covered by an immense ice sheet, nearly 3 miles thick in some places, holding 90% of the world's ice. If the Arctic is a huge floating ice floe, the Antarctic is a solid block of ice resting on rock bedrock, cold, arid, and battered by winds so powerful they could flip a small truck. The stark contrast between the two poles is often surprising. In the Arctic, the average winter temperature is around 40 degrees, sometimes hitting as low as 68 degrees, while harsh, humans still live here, notably the Inuit people, who have thrived for thousands of years. They hunt seals, fish from kayaks, and build igloos to survive the cold. The Arctic has life. It has people, some vegetation, and beloved creatures like polar bears, whales, and walruses. The Antarctic is entirely different. It is a continent of silence. There are no permanent residents, no villages, and no trees. Only researchers, about 1,000 in winter and 5,000 in summer, living in isolated scientific stations amid the endless snow. The temperature here can plummet to 80 Ninawas, 128 GW, the record cold measured at Russia's Vostok station. And if you ventured into this area without protective gear, your body would freeze solid in minutes. The most captivating detail, the Arctic has polar bears but no penguins, while the Antarctic has penguins but absolutely no polar bears. The two species have never met, and if they did, the polar bear would certainly enjoy a delicious meal. Now for the core question, why is the Antarctic twice as cold as the Arctic? There are three main reasons, and all are deeply scientific. The first reason, elevation. The Antarctic is a genuine continent with an average elevation of over 10,000 feet above sea level. The higher you go, the thinner the air and the lower the temperature, which is why mountain peaks are snow-covered year-round. Conversely, the Arctic is just a frozen ocean, mostly at sea level, making it several dozen degrees warmer. The second reason, surface nature. The Arctic is water, the Antarctic is land. Seawater has an excellent ability to retain heat. It absorbs solar energy and transfers that warmth back up to the ice layer, preventing the Arctic from reaching the most extreme temperatures. In contrast, the dry, cold landmass of the Antarctic reflects almost all sunlight, holding no heat, creating a natural superfreeze effect. The third reason, orbital position. When the Earth is farthest from the Sun, around July each year, the northern hemisphere is in summer, while the southern hemisphere is plunged into deep winter. This makes the Antarctic even colder on an already cold base. A perfect storm that turns the region into the planet's natural freezer. Don't mistake these places for lifeless, cold voids. In reality, the Arctic and Antarctic are the Earth's two climate regulators. If the Arctic ice melts, the ocean absorbs more heat, ocean currents change, and global weather patterns are disrupted. If the Antarctic ice sheet cracks, sea levels could rise by dozens of meters, submerging coastal cities. Both poles reflect sunlight back into space, helping to balance global temperatures. They act like two gigantic mirrors, keeping the planet neither too hot nor too cold, a fragile condition for life to exist. Crucially, within the millions of years old ice sheets in the Antarctic, scientists have found ancient air bubbles, time capsules, preserving traces of the atmosphere from hundreds of thousands of years ago. Thanks to this, humanity understands the history of climate change and knows we are melting away too quickly what nature took millions of years to create. When you view the Earth from space, the two poles look like two white caps on a blue marble. They seem distant, meaningless to our daily lives. But in truth, every breath, drop of water, and season we experience today is regulated by those cold regions. The Antarctic, where the wind howls, snow flies, and temperatures drop dozens of degrees below zero. The Arctic, where the ocean freezes and a polar bear stands lonely on a drifting floe. Two poles, two worlds, but both are essential to keeping this Earth in balance. If one day the ice at both ends of the planet melts completely, even if you stand on the scorching equator, you will feel the cold of loss. Not the chill of the wind, but the cold in your heart, when humanity realizes it has melted away the very thing that keeps the planet alive. The Earth's two poles are not just the edges of the map. They are the ultimate limits of endurance, and a silent reminder that when you break nature's balance, nature itself will teach you what the extreme limit is.